Howdy Earthlings, we have a new update for Dolly's factory, and that means new plushies. With the latest update, we have Spinnette and Maestro, a pair of jesters who like to clown around with speed-based abilities. The two mix up the game a lot, and today's plushie, Spinnette, might be Maestro's sidekick, but I think she's hands down the best plushie in the game currently. She's completely stolen the show. About Spinnette. Spinnette is a plushie with no specific role on the team, and because of that, she has the most variety and utility out of the entire team. Her stats are even a bit of a trick. You might think she's a pretty lackluster character on stats alone, but the application of charms, her ability, and stats make her the most versatile teammate while being the best in multiple regards. She has 4 health, which is 40 HP, 4 stamina, which is 90 points I believe of stamina, 4 speed, 8 stealth, the highest aside from maxed Felicia, and 5 efficiency. This puts her at below average for the majority of her stats, but like I said, the stats don't really matter for her aside from the awesome stealth stat. Spinnette's ability Web Shooter lets her fire a web shot that lets her zip over to a target. She can do this with 3 charges that come back on a cooldown. When all are consumed, the cooldown is 60 seconds, with each shot having a reduced cooldown after the first. Simply, it's like Scrap's ability, but with all restrictions removed. Spin can zip to players, machines, items, fluff piles, and even the train's door. Just explaining what this doesn't really do her justice. You need to see it in action. By description alone, you're like, okay, she's better Scraps, whoop-de-doo, not really a tall mountain to climb. But Forever Studio has made the most fun character I have ever played in a game, and I've been gaming longer than most of you have been alive. Let me show you what she can actually do. As long as she has line of sight with the target, she can zip to it. Not just that either. Should the target move like a player, if the web connects, Spin will reach that target. She will break the laws of time and space to do so as well. Any object that gets between her and the latch target will be phased through, or she'll move around it. Even if a player accepts the teleport request, a latched on Spin will be teleported with them. But even that's not all. If she latches to a player, the player will receive a 10-point shield, meaning she can sort of heal. If it's an item, she'll pick up the item. For fluff piles, she instantly consumes them. You don't need to wait for the interaction cog anymore. If she latches to a reject, she'll stun it. She can even stun Coda. She can't stun Maestro though. Traveling through time and space is perfectly fine, but stunning Maestro is a bit too far, I guess. Since she can reach any object, this opens up the game to a lot of creative gameplay. If a machine is too high, zip to it. A machine behind her rejected, zip to it, and you won't even get caught. She can zip to a player and give them a shield last second to save their life. Even the pylons on Jellybell's map can be zipped to. Yes, you can walk into the zone, aim for the farthest away pylon, and zip over there lickety-split and silently. Meaning this previously challenging and possibly game-ending zone is a breeze for an army of dedicated spider gals. But as you might remember, her stats aren't the best. You aren't really using her stats that much though. Her efficiency is only average, so the majority of a machine's completion comes from checks. Since you can zip everywhere, you won't really need to walk all that much, and if you do, your stealth is so high you'll be ignored by most rejects. But this time-saving web shot is what makes her the best. This puts her machine speed above Zoro simply because she'll get there so much sooner that any time lost on a slow machine progress is made up for by getting there that much faster. I really think we'll start to see Zoros less and less in public lobbies, and he'll just be left for solo runs. How to unlock Spinnette. Spinnette costs 2,500 Dolly bucks, but aside from that, she's probably one of the easiest plushies to unlock. You need 75% research on her, which you can get from Maestro's boss stage. When I started unlocking her, we got Maestro stage on floor 5 for 6 runs in a row. So play to Maestro stage, get all of the research, then leave and start a new run. Spinnette's research comes easily though, as Maestro has 3 Spinnette rejects, and there is research fluffs for each one. So you're earning 3 times as much research on Spinnette as you would for another sidekick like Triton or Queenie. It'll take maybe 3 or 4 Maestro stages to complete. Spinnette's charm. Her charm is a little bit lacking, but it is the first active charm. You have to click it to activate it, and you receive a speed boost for a short time. Personally, I much rather use a charm that gives me a passive speed buff that's always working rather than a short-term buff that can only be used once per floor. You'll be fine with just the carrot rush. That said, it does level, so you might want to equip it and, max it out in case it gets better in the future. Unfortunately, if you're on controller, it's a little clunky to activate. You use up on the D-pad to cycle between charm slots, then press down on the D-pad to activate it. It's a little awkward and the buff isn't really worth the mild inconvenience. How to play. As Spin, your main goal should be to target machines and objectives that are furthest from the pedestrians. You can get there before the people who have to walk, so you should get to the far away spots to save runtime. time. This means you should also target objectives that would take them longer to reach, like the objectives on the upper floors of some zones. In general though, Spin's role is a flexible one. If it's something she can zip to, then it's in her domain. You can use her to collect fluff piles easily for train upgrades, zip to players to save them, give them shields, and collect items. As a bonus trick, if for some reason you want to quickly return somewhere, you can drop an item and use it as a checkpoint as long as no one else takes it. Drop something useless like a stealth fluff, something that no one would pick up, then go do your machine at the end of the hall, turn around and zip back to the stealth fluff. It'll save you a lot of walking. If you're doing machines though, you should leave tough machines to faster repairing plushies like Maestro and Zorro, Felicia, and Buddy. They'll still beat you on finishing those machines quickly. The alternative though is carrying a bunch of efficiency-based charms, which I don't really recommend. If you're playing with Spins, you should try to stick to wide open areas with long lines of sight. This can help Spin get around the map easier. Remember, if you can't see Spin, she can't zip to you. So when zones are almost done, stand near the railway entrance so Spins can zip to you. Items to look out for. Keep an eye out for any high value items that you can sell and healing. Grab them for your teammates because Spin can only give shields and not that much. If you want to play field medic, then consider using your fluff to buy security blankets. You'll feel like a superhero dropping off meds to save the day. Watch out for instant chargers too, as your machine time isn't the best. Best charms. Spinnette won't spend much time on the ground. Most of your gameplay is going to be zipping up to the machine, then back down to the train. I don't think movement speed is really needed because she can fly to anything she can see regardless of the distance. If you feel it's needed, just don't overdo it. You only really need the carrot and nothing else. I found myself running out of stamina a lot, but stamina restore charms aren't really worth it for me. Stealth increases are overdoing it. She already has the highest stealth next to Felicia. Her stun is already plenty long enough to escape. I also don't recommend you build for part collection, as other higher speed characters are much better suited for this job. So this doesn't leave us with a ton of options. The only build I can recommend is something I call a quality build. This is a build that seeks to improve a character across the board. Rather than focusing on one peak or bunk stat, we take everything good about the character and we make it better. For this, we want Carrot Rush for move speed, Workaholic for repair speed, and Fortistitch or Stitch Heart for survival. This lets you dabble in doing all the things that Spin does well. I'm suggesting Stitches to increase survivability because she has less health, and also to reduce your cost of playing. The more you resist with Fortistitch and the more you heal with Stitch Heart, the less you're spending on items to heal. But keep in mind that Stitch Heart is not that great because healing isn't really that important because shields exist and they're plentiful. The less you're spending on healing, the more you can spend on getting heals for others or train upgrades. But I will be honest, this is actually a pretty weak suggestion for the final charm. Once you find out how you'd like to play Spin, you should swap the third charm for something you like more. I don't personally find much value in repair speed charms because skill checks give you so much more for Spin by comparison. Same for tough machine charms. If you're part of a team, you should just leave the tough machines for Zorro, Maestro, Felicia, or Buddy. In general, most charms aren't super helpful for Spin. So this does give the player a lot of freedom in what you do equip. You can go quantity and triple up on Stitch items, movement speed, or efficiency if you want to. There isn't a wrong answer for her other than stealth is kind of pointless. As long as there is one other non-Felicia or non-Spin character near you, then you won't get seen. If you're playing with a lot of Spins, you could bump stealth, but I don't know, it seems like a waste of a slot to me. That's all I have for you though. Spin is a plushie who has very little limits on how you can practically play her. She's an amazing all-rounder, and that's led her to accidentally becoming the strongest plushie in Dolly's factory. There isn't anything that she can't do besides tanking, and she's not the best for solos, I guess. She's great for any type of run, and her presence instantly improves the quality of a run in a lot of ways. Spin works best as part of a team though. Spins can help each other and the rest of the team, and there really isn't any limits on how she can improve the gameplay. She's also just incredibly fun to play. She's almost too good. After switching to Maestro, I was immediately bummed out that I had to go back to walking everywhere. She's so good, she makes characters that aren't her hard to return to. She's seriously just that good. The funniest part is this is what Scraps could have been. Fun. It's so weird how a character concept like these two can be the same, but so different. Like one is bad, and the other is the most fun I've had playing a Roblox game yet. This is what I mean though by Dolly's factory being so much better than Dandy's World. The devs clearly play their game and know what makes it fun. Aesthetically and gameplay wise, she gets a perfect score for me. She's going to be a very tough act to follow. S tier all the way, aesthetically and gameplay wise. An absolute must for any team. She is the ultimate fill role character. She just needs a little cowgirl costume because she does a little giddy up thing. She like moves her arms like she's holding horse reins when she runs. Also, now that I know that the devs watch my videos, I'm going to need you to put me in the game now. The last plushie deal I got ended up with this monstrosity, so I feel like those of you over at the Forever Studio could probably do a little better. Thanks for watching, and thanks to the supporters on Patreon and members on YouTube like Gezro, Am, Nebazi, Esperan Artist, Paper, Faye Penguin, Momentary Unicorn, Nat, Marius, Yeenie, Worm Syrup, Rask, Beeve, Colorado Blue, Vaderson, Linky, Addy14, the Ace of Raccoons, Splack Jack, Rask again, Willie Pete, TG Dante, Linky again, Astro Pixie YT, and Malting Brick. I'll see y'all later. I need to go do stand-up at the Sad Clowns Club. It's a really rough gig. I can never tell whether they're cry laughing or just regular crying. Bye!